And it's 7:32. I'd like to call the Conservation Commission Inland Wetlands Watercourse Agency regular meeting for March 2nd to order. We have this is Charlie Haltman, if you would like to serve for the open vacancy, and we've got Joe and Jason. So I know we wanted to add an item to the agenda, Tom?
Yes. Tonight I would like to see if the commission would entertain an additional item to the scheduled agenda for the Conservation Commission in regards to a re-subdivision of 34 East Weetog Street. That again will go under the Conservation Commission, not under the Wetlands Agency.
I'll motion that we add that to the agenda.
Do you have a second?
Second.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Tom, do you want to present?
I don't have the agenda. Oh my God. Of course I don't have the agenda in front of me. Let me see. Where's that agenda? Excuse me. Yeah, we are missing our applicant for 6 Victoria Lane tonight due to a conflict, but we could receive the application as submitted. It is going to be for an in-ground pool within the upland review area per the town official map. They are looking for an in-ground pool approximately 10 feet off of the main house, a little closer to the bump out. The staff report kind of reflected where the location would be in regards to what you may see on an aerial. And looking at the town official map, there are wetland soils towards the rear of the house, because if you go westerly of the house, excuse me, getting my bearings here. If you go westerly of the house, there is a large wetland area. Did we lose somebody?
No, I'm sorry. It's probably me. I was reading the report. Sorry.
Okay. No, we lost
Joe.
Joe.
We lost Joe. So I'll wait for Joe to come back. But in light, we could receive the application this evening and hold it until the next regular scheduled meeting. So I was going to try to give a little bit of an overview of the land. But if we have other participants in the next meeting, I'll have to do it again anyway. So let's see if Joe just had a technical error, and see if we can bring him back so that we could receive this application with a quorum, and that way we could hold it until the next meeting. Let's give him a minute.
Do we need a motion to hold it?
We will, but we need a quorum in order to vote on that hold. To receive it. So let's give Joe a minute.
Yep.
So
this is where. Sorry,
I was just going to say an education question. As I'm reading your report, it sounds like your biggest concerns is when they do the digging, they'll be bringing up soil that will need to be dewatered. Correct. Yeah.
Well, my concern is because there is a bog in a really pondish, marshish area. Mm-hmm. That it's concerning to me that the water table might be a little high, so I want to make sure that when Giuliano's is part of our meeting, that they are prepared for that. Okay. They either create a dewatering zone that has the proper silt fencing and hay bales, or they use dewatering trucks, which will hold the moisture in place. Okay, I think I just got a text from Laura, so give me 1 second here. Mm-hmm. Let's see, because we might be at a standstill. I can't see it back in. All right, Joe's having some issues. Let me give him a call real quick. I don't mean to hold up the meeting, but sure, we can't really move forward without him. So sure, if I can
get him on the phone.
Yep.
Can you participate with?
Joe and I have had some conversations offline. Hey, Joe. It's Tom Hazel. You having trouble with the Wi-Fi? Okay. If you can keep trying, that would be great. Otherwise, we're just gonna pause things for lack of a quorum and just have to move on. But if you can keep Okay. Okay. Feel free to text me if anything improves, and I'm gonna ask
You can
Laura.
always
And
call in if he
oh yeah, actually, yeah, Joe, can you call in? I can give you the number to call in. Yep, take a minute. Laura, do you have the New York number? Because I've got Chicago and DC on mine.
Oh goodness.
I'll just throw them. I'll push them through Chicago. It's fine.
Chicago seems reasonable. Call up your cell phone.
What's that? Okay, I've got 1-312-626-6799. And the meeting ID that you'll have to punch in is 257 429 772. Yeah, oh, there's four more digits. 7243. So it's the total of the meeting ID is 257 429 7243. Yeah, that should be the whole the meeting ID is 10 digits long. Yep. And if you call that number, it'll prompt you to add that in and say your name and press pound. All right. Best of luck. And we'll be waiting for you. If you have any issues, feel free to call me at this number. All right. Bye. Okay. Hopefully we'll have Joe back in a minute via phone, which will work for tonight's meeting because there's not much to see. But yeah, my only concern is that they have a heavily landscaped yard. It's pre-wetlands regulations and all that, so there's tons of fill in that neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I just want to make sure if they dig down for a pool that they're prepared for the surprise and not having any issues while they're doing it, considering the sensitivity of the area. But
are you at all worried about the mechanical construction of the pool and the issues with a lot of big changing water table around the pool?
No, I think their methodology is pretty concise, considering that they're trying to do everything immediately and not stockpile and mm-hmm. not have heavy lawn impacts and not store stuff around.
Okay.
My main issue is just like, you never know what you're going to find when you go digging for gold, you know?
Right.
So hopefully Joe will get into us and we can continue this. Yeah, this is one of those things. I didn't have power when I woke up, I think about 2:30, 3 o'clock until almost 6:30 this morning.
Wow.
Yeah. We didn't lose it at all here, surprisingly, because we're kind of off Latimer, and I heard there was a lot of trees down there.
Yeah, Simsbury made the news. I saw them on Channel 30 tonight that they were talking about Simsbury and some trees down and neighborhoods locked in.
Yeah, I just saw the DPW's blurb on Facebook. They put up that Latimer was closed due to several trees down.
Wow.
That's pretty heavily wooded there, and those are old trees, too.
Yep. And a lot of pine trees, which are always the ones to go.
And that seems to be what I have in my neighborhood is mainly pines, white pines and some reds. Oh, that might be Joe.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm here.
Okay. Joe, just to I'll back up a little bit about what we were talking about. 6 Victorias, the applicant is not available for this evening. So they're looking for us to receive their application. We could there was only 1 or 2 options. We'd either hold a public hearing or give it to the agent for delegation and approval. At this point, we could receive it and hold it until the next regularly scheduled meeting, or we could decide to hold a public hearing if it meets the criteria.
Okay.
In talking to the group in order to make this fair to everybody and that we're all on the same page, in case someone is watching this online, we discussed the fact that my main concern was that they are prepared for dewatering, just in case as they dig out the in-ground pool, they get wet soils, that they're able to handle them properly due to the proximity to the wetlands. They are in the upland review area as far as the town official map is concerned.
Right.
And I think that their erosion and sedimentation control and their narrative on their practices are fairly intact. But considering I have not had any public comment to my office on it, the commission should look at what they've received and decide whether they believe it's a significant enough impact or there's public interest that you should hold a public hearing. Or would you just like to hold it until the next regularly scheduled meeting in order to hear the application and at that time either make a ruling or then possibly decide to hold a public hearing? Because I believe you get one more extension beyond that.
Okay.
So you're up to speed on what we were discussing, and what I would do, what I would offer to the commission at this point, considering the lack of an applicant, is to ask the commission whether they would just like to receive the application and hold on to it to the next regularly scheduled meeting, or do they think that it meets the threshold of a significant enough impact that they feel that there's a need for a public hearing or that there's public interest
Okay.
to hold a public hearing?
Got it. Okay, so I'm up to speed. Thank you.
All right, I'll let you guys discuss amongst yourself whether you'd like to receive it or schedule a public hearing.
I don't think there's that. I mean, we don't usually have a public hearing for a pool. So I don't think in this particular case, we follow the practices for construction, and the dewatering is, I think, the major concern. I don't think it rises to the level of a public hearing. So I think we just receive it tonight and then hear it at the next meeting. I think that would be.
I agree.
All right.
Yep.
Feel free to entertain a vote.
Yep, I would agree with that. I mean, obviously there is some concern because that whole area is just wetlands. So but I think we should do that for the next meeting. I would agree.
I would too.
So, Tom, do we need a motion to say that we will defer? All right, do we have a motion to defer, accept the application and hear it at the next meeting?
So moved, right?
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Joe, that was an aye.
Aye.
All right, good. All right, so that closes out the new business and old business. Do we have any?
Joe, can I ask one quick question? Joe, is your computer still on?
Yes.
Because we're getting an echo.
Okay. I wouldn't know why because I'm not even on the internet.
I don't know who's echoing. I don't think. I'm not sure. Just thinking. But anyway.
Okay.
All right. So, old business. Do we have any old business?
No.
All right. And
I think
then
we have minutes and then the added item.
Commission business. So the minutes. We're looking for an approval for the minutes for January 19th. And also the approval for the minutes of December 1st. Does anyone have anything on the January 19th that they'd like to amend? All right. And do we hear anything from the minutes for December 1st? All right. So hearing none for either of them, do I have a motion to accept the minutes from January 19th, 2021 and December 1st, 2020?
So moved.
Do we have a
Yep,
second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And then now we're on to agent actions. There are none.
Not at this time.
Okay, and then we're moving on to correspondence. Hopefully at the next meeting we will have, there's been quite a lot of activity with the Open Space Committee. And I was hoping to have it this time, but we had some email issues. So hopefully we'll have, we're working on a policy for how the town should mow its meadows. We have a new farm lease policy. And we've been also coming up with just general open space acquisition policy And I think that's, and we have a forest management policy, I think, as well. But I'd like to bring them back before the commissioners to look at them and get your input and before they're formally approved. And that's all I have. Oh, and if anyone's interested, the North Central Conservation District has their new spring seedling brochure out. If you're interested in buying some nice native plants and supporting the North Central Conservation District, that's available on their website. It's always good to plant some native plants. That's all I have. Anyone have anything else? No?
Nope.
All right. Then we are set. The next motion, the next item is adjournment. I'd like to make a motion. Oh, what?
We had our additional item for the Conservation
yeah,
Commission
that's right.
part.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah, we'd like to shift gears to the Conservation
Oh, good.
Commission now that
Okay.
wetlands has been
All
dealt
right.
with.
All right. Sorry about that. Yes. All right. Tom, would you like to tell us about it?
Yeah. Acting as a liaison for the town, and the planning department has received a re-subdivision plan for 34 East Weetog Street. It's a mandatory push to the Conservation Commission for comment, if they'd like to comment. It's basically a residential lot that is, let's see my notes here, currently is 7.62 acres in an R40 residential zone. They're looking to split off 4 acres to make a secondary lot. That would be in conformity with the existing zoning regulations for the R40 zoning district, which only requires a 40,000 square foot lot, which is slightly under an acre. So this would leave a 4 acre and a 3.62 acre lot. There are no wetlands in the area. The soils are excessively well drained, and the topography is fairly flat and kind of gives lieu to a residential lot. It's nothing to. I think they were growing some Christmas trees out front and have some wooded area in the back of what would be split off of the lot. The lot is surrounded by residential development. There is no conservation or open space abutting the property proper. And with that, it will be entertained by the Planning and Zoning Commission. No, Planning Commission, definitely. Yeah. For a re-subdivision. Excuse my pause there.
So is this something you want a decision on tonight, or do you want at the next meeting after we?
No, they're looking for any recommendations or comments that you may have if you had reviewed it. I don't know where it stands on their agenda. I think from a conservation standpoint, it's not an excessively large lot. So, and being surrounded by already predetermined and developed residential lots, there's not a lot of connectivity or anything for a recommendation for any kind of conservation easements or open space. So they're just looking to see that the conservation district doesn't have any highlighted wants or needs in that area. I think if it was abutting some of our open space, we might want to try to tag a conservation easement onto an abutting part of it to give a buffer, but this is surrounded by all residential developed lots.
Well, I'd like to look at a map for them.
Yeah, Laura, do you have a second to chime in? Do you know
Material
when?
was uploaded to Dropbox. If you'd like, I'd be happy to screen share.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Hold on 1 second. I'll be happy to do that. Bear with me.
And Laura, do you know what?
On the site at the moment.
From what I recall, it's fair. It looks halfway vegetative. The picture will show you more of what the existing limits are and what the proposed limits are of clearing. Laura, do you know when that's going to planning?
That I believe it's on their next meeting, which I
Okay.
think is next Tuesday.
Okay, so let's take a look at if you could
Right.
share the pre and post.
Opening it up now. Bear with me.
I don't mean to interrupt. I just got internet back, so I'll try and get back into the meeting so I can also see.
I will let you in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I clicked on it, so hopefully things will be better. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yep. Okay. And I will hang up as soon as I get in.
With me because I'm doing two things at once.
Laura's juggling.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
And I don't know if it'll hold, but I can at least look.
Yep.
At the.
It's also in the Dropbox, so if you can't look at it.
Oh, it's in the Dropbox. You know what?
Definitely in the Dropbox.
You know what? I'm going to cancel out of it. I'm going to leave. Then I'm just going to stay on the phone. And I will get it from Dropbox.
Unfortunately, I didn't realize it got scanned in sideways.
That's all right.
All right. Well, I was looking at it this way all day, so I could at least describe. So your existing lot is to the top of the page. There's that little driveway coming up the center dotted lines where Laura's cursor is. And the existing limits of clearing are to the bottom of the page, that kind of squiggly line by East Weetog Street that has a few trees marked. A little more to your right. Yep, right up there, Laura. And that is what the lot looks like now, and it's unified with the lot to the top of the page that has a little driveway access coming to it. So that's the unified lot. And they're looking to split the lot down the dotted line just below that little driveway between the two dotted lines.
I'm sorry,
Coming
is
from
it
you.
this one, Tom, or is it
No, a little towards the middle of the page.
this one?
You've got
Can you see my
the,
cursor?
yeah, I can see it. No, farther up, where
This one.
East Wheat, right by the word street.
Okay.
See East Weetog Street.
Here.
Yep.
The dotted line near the parking.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where the tree farm kind of is, and there's that little driveway just above her cursor, by the word street, that goes left to right or right to left, depending on how you want to look at it. And that's the split. And if she goes to the next cut sheet, you'll see what they're proposing for the development. So there is, if you go up a little bit more, Laura, thank you. So that's the existing house at the top of the page by the scale, and the proposed house is below that driveway. The septic field would be where those Christmas trees at one point were farmed, but are no really longer. I think there's like 4 or 5 little spruces out there at this point. And they're just proposing a house of similar size to what's existing in the neighborhood. Can you scroll the page down a little bit, Laura, just so I can see a little bit more?
Yes,
I don't know if. And so, oh no, go back up to no, same page. I just wanted to see more of their clearing. It looks like their silt fence and clearing are kind of in conjunction with each other. So it's just a bubble around the house. Looks to be the general feel of the development. I don't see a limit of clearing for the new proposed, but it's a large lot, and it seems to have a gentle slope. They may or may not. I don't know.
Wouldn't the sort of scallop line be the limit of clearing on the back side of the house? That one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if that's erosion and sedimentation control loop, but it looks. Actually, you know what? You're probably right, Marjorie, because that would be a very big envelope for just building the house.
Yeah.
And on the previous page, it was kind of similar, but it doesn't look like a heavy-handed development. It's just a typical single-family home. We're not trying to put in multiple residential lots on this location. And like I said, under the R40 zone, a typical lot is required to have 40,000 square feet, which is under an acre. And they're looking to put this to be up to 4 acres. So there's plenty of room, plenty of buffer. And you know what, Marjorie, I believe you're right, because if you do look closer to the road, you got the little joggy lines to the bottom of the development, and it kind of follows around. So without being able to blow it up, I would say the same.
So it's clearing maybe less than a quarter of the site.
It seems to be.
Yeah.
I think they're using some good practices on this. And as I said, as a conservation commission, we're not legally binding. We're just looking to see if we'd like to make any recommendations if we see something that is out of whack. But like I said, there's not a lot of sensitive areas on this property as far as wetlands are concerned, as far as abutments to open space or abutments to other conserved lands. It's kind of just a large lot that they could potentially split into two, and that's what they're looking to do. And they're surrounded, like I said, by residential development.
Sounds
So-
like they could split it into more if they wanted.
Oh, if they only needed 40,000, they could probably split it 4 times. So
All right. And what is the dotted line? I can't read it. Down at the bottom, the back bottom of the lot.
there might be a utility easement through there because there's a wonky lot to the bottom there that has an umbilical cord that goes all the way behind the property,
Yeah.
and there's a little square, but there's no development on that.
Yeah.
It might have been a thought for a potential rear lot, but even that umbilical cord seems kind of narrow for a rear lot. So I don't know how that was parsed off, but it is different ownership. It is not the same ownership.
All right.
So unless the Conservation Commission sees something they'd like to recommend, if you're happy with what you've seen and you don't have an issue, you could just we don't need a vote or anything. You just need to state that, you guys are happy with what you see and that works for you. We could take a vote if you want to make it more formal feeling, but we're not a legislative body as a Conservation Commission. So they're just
referral. It would
Yeah, you can make you could make a referral in a statement. Yeah, I agree.
So
I don't have any issue with this.
nor do I.
So do I.
Yeah, no, I do not either.
All right. So
So we'll make a formal referral that the Conservation Commission finds no issues with the subdivision, the re-subdivision as proposed.
sounds good. All right. So that takes care of that. We don't need anything more formal.
No, I don't believe so. Laura, do you have any opinion on that?
No, it sounds like as long as we get a positive referral, as long as you're okay, Marjorie, that we write it up from
That
the,
sounds good. I think
from
everyone here
staff.
was in agreement. So that's essentially.
with no additional comment as far as any kind of measures that need to be taken. I think we're perfectly fine doing it internally as staff.
All right. That sounds all right. Well, that is the last item on our agenda. So we will now go entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to
I will
adjourn.
move that we adjourn.
All right. So one of you is first, and one of you is second.
I'll make that
We'll
determination.
sort that out. Thank you very much. And now we'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much. See you in a couple of weeks.
Take
See you
care.
in a
Thank
couple
you
of
all.
weeks.
Yes.
Yep, bye.
Everyone.